Fibonacci numbers and the golden ratio. The Fibonacci sequence. In math, Fibonacci numbers are the numbers that are in the following integer sequence, known as the Fibonacci sequence. In math, how you can tell that a sequence is the Fibonacci sequence is that every number after the first two is the sum of the two preceding ones. A common Fibonacci sequence example is 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 55, 89, 144, etc. How you can tell this is a Fibonacci sequence because 1 and 1 is 2, 2 and 3 is 5, 5 and 8 is 13, and so on. An interesting fact is that the only known picture of Fibonacci is an unknown representation or a fake. Fibonacci sequence spiral. The spiral is a representative of how perfectly the numbers go together. We can see the Fibonacci sequence spiral in everyday things, such as cactuses, shells, and even sunflowers. History of Fibonacci. The man known as Fibonacci was born in Italy in 1170. The nickname was given to him because of his ancestral name. He was also known as the greatest mathematician of the Middle Ages. He introduced algebra with Hindu Arabic numerals to Italy to replace Roman numerals. Everyday uses. Stock traders use the sequence to calculate numbers for clients. Astrologers use the sequence to see how big a galaxy is, and scientists use the sequence to estimate how big the human race might become. The golden ratio. The origin of the golden ratio. The golden ratio was discovered by the ancient Greeks. It can be traced back to 500 BC. The ancient Greeks used the golden ratio to divide or section property and described it as the division of a line into the extreme and mean ratio. 2,000 years later, both ratio and section were designated as golden. Greeks observed the golden ratio provided the most aesthetically pleasing proportion sides of a rectangle. The golden ratio has evolved throughout the Renaissance times.
The golden ratio equation. The value of the golden ratio, which is usually denoted by the Greek letter 5, is 5 equals 1 plus square root of 5 over 2, which gives you the numbers of 1.618033 and so on. The basic aesthetic claim is that the golden rectangle, one whose height and width are in the ratio of 1 to 5, which has to be no more than 1.61, is the most pleasing of all rectangles. Also, the golden ratio is known as the golden mean or divine proportion. Why will anyone think that this is an attractive ratio, and where did it come from? The answer lies in the Fibonacci numbers, but also on the Greeks, how we have talked earlier in the video, because of their balance of the study and their geometry.
Leonardo da Vinci. His famous painting, the Mona Lisa, is known to have the golden ratio because of its aesthetically pleasing image. The golden ratio in the image is made up of rectangles that reflect upon one another.
Things we see in the golden ratio is in the dentistry. Today, many dentists and oral surgeons use the golden section when we reconstruct patients' teeth. Attractive smells are said to have the divine proportion, sometimes explaining our immediate attraction to another. And instruments are built with the idea of 5 in mind, illustrated in the violin and its divine proportions. Also in our own body, it naturally incorporates 5. Many proportions of various parts of our body allow us to see 5 come to life. North Central has its own golden ratio wall. As you can see, North Central has every single picture that has developed themselves as a community. And in the following video, there is how to operate the video. It says, welcome, explore. You can explore from the 1900s to modern days. You can press 1950s, 1940s, 2000s, and every single picture that you see in that machine is in the wall. It also explains to you how you can locate it in the wall, where it is, and you can zoom in and zoom out and see how clearly you can the picture, and it has its meaning towards it.